Welcome back here once again, everyone. I have said this before, and I stick by it. I stick by what I say. Some people may not agree with it, but I stick by when I say that a lot of these new comic book writers just don't like their fans. They don't like their fans. They don't respect their fans. They don't pretty much hate you. That's pretty way to put it simple. They don't respect what these comics mean, the history of them. They have nothing to do with it. And one of the clearest examples of that is Meghan Fitzmartin. She has been, they try to pin her up as some sort of shining new comic book writer to be, revealed. Now, I don't know Meghan Fitzmartin, never met her. She could probably be a very nice person, but honestly, she can't write comics at all. Everything I've seen from her is just terrible garbage. Now, I went over what she's been doing with Dark Crisis Young Justice, and in issue number 2, where she basically told all the fans that if you ever liked Young Justice in the 90s and the early 2000s, when they were at the height of their popularity, when they were producing stories that were gripping, characters that you were really getting into, that you actually loved, what she basically told everyone is that if you ever love that, you are a racist, sexist, homophobe, and a piece of shit to boot. That's basically what she said in that comic. Well, we get to Dark Crisis Young Justice number 4, and she continues to double down on it. Everything you see in this book makes you wonder if this woman has ever read a Young Justice comic, if she's ever read a comic book to begin with, if she ever had any love at all for these characters. And the answer is that it's as stark and simple no. Once you get into this book, you start to realize so much crap is going on. And I'm going to go through bit by bit to point out what's happening with the different characters and the crap that they're doing. It starts off with Superboy, right? But to begin with, all these characters have been aged down, right? Because all of them right now would be well within their 20s. But they all now look like they're 14, 15 at best. It's very creepy, but it's what they keep doing. Now, Connor Kent was one of the most famous heroes. It had clone as Superman and Lex Luthor. He had a very troubled kind of past. Was wondering whether he was this, whether it was that, what to do. But he was never the way that she depicts him in this book. And the way that she depicts him in this book is as a whiny little bitch. That's the only way to put it. A literal whiny little bitch. Every time, he spends the entire thing talking about how, why are they even fighting? What's going on? Why should they do this? Why is this happening? And then, he just basically turns around and then says to everyone, Robin, Impulse, we can't win. So what if we just stop? Because they're apparently trapped in this world fighting evil versions, fighting the kind of version that the Justice League, they're not real, but just fighting the Justice League. And he's just going on about, these guys are only fighting us because we're resisting this world. We have been beaten and bruised and battered in the real world. What if we make a new start here? What if we stop trying to make a good thing bad? And they're like, Superboy, have you lost your mind? Because he just continues on like that throughout the entire thing. He's just going on about how, isn't this world better? Haven't you missed being back? And then, this is not your world, this is not what's going on. And then he gets to the even more stupid statement, yeah? So you want to go back to the world where I died? You had a better life there, didn't you? And Robin is all, shell-shocked by it and can't move. And then he's all, don't have anything to say to that, do you? You know I'm right. Like, what kind of behavior? This is not something you ever hear Connor Kent say. Ever. He died, Robin's died, everybody died and come back, all sorts of stuff. And then, then Robin, of course, has to start whining too. You died, left us alone, left me alone. And then you showed back up like nothing happened, like it didn't ruin my life, like I didn't try to find a way to clone you, to bring you back. Like, I didn't change my whole costume to honor you. You think your life was better then, you were better then. And I mean, it's kind of weird he's saying all of this while he's murdering Superman with kryptonite to the heart. I mean, not really Superman, but it's kind of weird he's saying that while he's doing this. You know, it's just, it's just really wrong listening to all of this thing. It doesn't sound like them at all. It's going on with, I got lost too. I thought I was dead, and thinking of you brought me back, not just the happier times, but the hard times too. It's just ridiculous, boy. Honestly, ridiculous. Then, of course, we have a whole bunch of unnecessary crap with Wonder Girl and Arrowette, and I think Red Tornado has joined in for some reason, and they end up going into the thing, and it's weird. And this is a really creepy part there. Apparently, the Justice League has like some sort of mausoleum-like room with statues of all the dead junior heroes. I mean, I don't understand the reason why the Justice League would keep something that creepy around. It's like you're keeping statues of all these people who died for what sick reason would you do that? It's really, really disturbing. See, it says, when Donna died, or Connor, hell, even Jericho, why would Justice League have this? She's always going on more. This place always felt like an inevitability. We kept it to remember our friends, but also because we knew we'd end up here too one day. It was only a matter of time. What kind of sick shit is that? Why would you keep something there, a literal mausoleum of all the people who've died, knowing that this is leaving us some kind of message to people that, eventually this is where you're going to end up? That is really creepy and weird. It doesn't sound like something that the Justice League would do at all. And then, of course, last time around, right, we had Arrowette, I think Sissy is her name, so it's Cassie and Sissy. That's really creative. Yeah, anyway, Sissy was going on about how all the boys were a bunch of immature little boys and all kind of thing. And now she's all, why didn't you tell me about any of this? And then, Wonder Girl is all, Sissy, are you serious? I tried to a bunch of times, but no, you were done with Young Justice. You thought you were shutting out the boys, but you were also shutting out me. I wanted to talk, but you didn't want to. I was trying to respect that. I have always tried to respect that, but no one ever saw how it affected me. Like, bloody hell. And then she literally destroys the statue of Connor. You made me feel invisible. I mean, kind of a weird thing to do with the person who was literally your first love. But no, this is apparently how Meghan Fitzmartin thinks all these people are going to react. Lord have mercy. And then they end up going off on Wonder Woman's invisible jet into space. And, Sissy still, Cassie, I wanted to say, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And she saved it. If you wanted to be friends, we would have talked before. I don't even care about any of this and talking about we don't need your pity. That's ridiculous garbage. That's what it is. That's all. And then, after all of this nonsense from Robin and Superboy and now Wonder Girl and Arrowette and all of their crap, but the one person who has to also chime in, because this won't be complete if they don't have an entire roster of everybody acting like whiny little children. Then we get Impulse. You don't take me seriously. You don't ask how I'm doing. You don't listen to me when I tell you something is wrong. I got stuck here, thrown back in time and landed here, and I didn't care because you guys became my best friends and it was fun. We had fun, but then you both started treating me like a sidekick. I was used to getting that from the Flashes, not from you guys. Okay, here goes. You guys don't care about anyone but each other. What the hell kind of madness is that? I mean, I don't understand the ridiculousness of any of this. I don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, it's one thing to write a story and try to make it seem like something. It's another thing to write something that doesn't track with what you're doing. These don't sound like these because the people take perfectly in a simple as possible manner. The boys who are actually supposed to be men at this point, all of them are supposed to be in their 20s by now, they all act like whiny little girls. The women who look like girls, the women who are also supposed to be in their 20s but somehow look like teenagers, act like whiny little, 10-year-old girls at some kind of play date, and one person wants to touch the other one's dolly and doesn't want to. That's not what is going on. They're all acting like whiny little children. For some reason, that seems to be what Meghan Fitzmartin thinks all of these people are going to somehow behave like. I don't know why, but that's what she thinks. Now, if you would think to yourself, okay, after all this drama and conflict, all this crap, that would be the end of it. No. She has to get one last jab in to let you know, if you ever liked Young Justice before, you are still a bastard and you shouldn't like it. After they go through all this nonsense and all this thing and all this stuff, and even talking about how this version of the Mighty Endowed felt intentionally sexist for them. I mean, what? And Tora, I barely remember Tora the first time around. He not messed up at all and all of this stuff. It turns out that the one behind all of this is Mickey Mitzelplix. I think he's son of great Mr. Mitzelplix or whatever. I mean, it's like, who is this person? Where did they even come from? But somehow that's what's happened. And here's what he has to say. I'm your biggest fan, which is why you have to stay here or you'll ruin our childhood. Yeah, because apparently this version of what they're in is better, and if they go back, that'll be worse. They need to stay here in this version of whatever the hell it is, where Meghan Fitzmartin could write them to be the biggest losers she thinks possible, and that's supposed to be okay. They're all supposed to look like children rather than actual grown people. This is just another positive example of how much these people just don't like nor respect anything that they do. They just give them titles to write. They don't have any experience writing comics. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And for some sick reason, people seem to think that, that's a good thing to just have these talentless hacks write it. Another issue of Dark Crisis Young Justice. Once again, Meghan Fitzmartin finds another way to tell you that everything you ever liked about Young Justice before was wrong and you're a bastard for ever liking it, and makes all these heroes act like prepubescent children throwing tantrums. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. Like the video, be sure to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell. Be notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.